What's up, everybody? Aubrey with a Y here. Why? Because I have questions, and I know you have questions as well. And hopefully we can answer some of those questions together tonight. Tonight, I want to talk about in my feelings. Have you ever been in your feelings before? Maybe it's good feelings, maybe it's bad feelings. You know, sometimes when we talk about in my feelings, we say it in a way that's like making fun of somebody, like, oh, they're in their feelings, or they're being vulnerable, or they're showing emotion, especially dudes, you know, like dudes is like, oh, they're super in their feelings. And I wanted to share with you 3 thoughts that I had because I have been in my feelings. This last week, we had an awesome week. Those of you that are parents, you're going to feel this, and it might put you in your feelings too. As a parent, this last week was just such a cool week for me. And dudes, you want to talk about being in your feelings, man? I can't tell you how many times I cried last week. Legit just sitting there during these moments, crying, and not a bad cry, but just my heart was so full. So it started Thursday night. We've been following OU soccer. We're from Norman, Oklahoma, where University of Oklahoma is. My kids love soccer. And so we've been cheering on the Lady Sooners this year. My daughter's gotten to know some people. We've gotten to know one of the coaches is a pretty good friend. And so my daughter got to be a ball girl at the game. And it was just for her, was just oh my gosh, this is amazing. You know, she's standing behind the goal, watching all the action happen, and just seeing how excited she was kind of oh God, as a parent, you're like, this is so freaking cool. That was really cool. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, they played in their first soccer tournament. Both their teams did great. They got second place. 8 games in 2 days, parents. It was unbelievable. But we had 8 games between the two of them in 2 days. It was wild, but man, it was so cool watching them get the medals and watching them fight through different things. And man, it was just really awesome. And then Sunday night was Halloween, and we just moved to a new neighborhood. The kids are going to a new school. They've made a lot of new friends. Some of their friends are like, hey, come trick-or-treating with us at our neighborhood thing. So our neighborhood does this big thing, and it was way bigger than I knew it was because it was huge. At one point, Megan and I are just looking around we're with people that we did not know 6 months ago, and these people are friends. It was just, the whole thing was really cool. And I just kept telling my wife, I was like, my heart is so full, and I just cry at random times. It's embarrassing, but I was in my feelings, okay? By the way, did you know that when you say your heart is full, your heart can actually be so full of love and gratitude that it's scientifically proven that when your heart is full of love and gratitude, it emits an electromagnetic force around you up to 3 feet out that actually attracts people into you. It's the craziest thing. This is science. It's real. So some of you are praying for some stuff, and maybe you should start with love and gratitude in your heart, genuine being thankful for things. But we have this great week. I'm in my feelings. And then Monday, my kids did something and got in trouble, and I'm like, oh, you ruined it. You know, I was like, oh, back down to normal. Here's my main thought. Not all moments are equal. There are moments that you experience that seem extraordinary, that are special, and there are other moments that don't feel that special, and that's okay because not all moments are equal. Man, a lot of life is ordinary with extraordinary moments. Now, that doesn't mean, I know we've got some mindset people in here, and I know we've got some people that are big into that, and I am too. Your perspective can shift things where you can make ordinary moments great, but the reality is the moments themselves, a lot of them are just ordinary moments. Every moment is not oh, this is amazing, this is the best day of my life, right? Life is a lot of ordinary moments with some moments that feel extraordinary. Here's three thoughts that I want to share with you is 1, remember what matters, because life is full of ordinary. And if we're not careful, we let those ordinary moments pull us away from what matters, because a lot of the times what makes things extraordinary is it's because it's something that's important to us. Why was I in my feelings? It's not because of women's soccer. You know, it's not oh, women's soccer, this is amazing, you know? No, I mean, I love OU soccer, don't get me wrong, but it was because my daughter was out there experiencing something, thinking, oh my gosh, what an opportunity she has right now to have somebody to look up to see the game at a level that she's not playing it at. That's what made it extraordinary. And if we're not careful, ordinary moments pull us away from the extraordinary moments. So it's so important in our lives to remember what matters. I'll just be honest with you here because, It's not like we're public on the internet for everybody to see or anything. Oh, we are. Okay. Anyways, this last 18 months, 2 years for Megan and I has been a lot of change, like a lot of change. And some of it's exciting, some of it's tough, some I'm mad at, some I'm happy with, but it's been a lot of change for us. And so there's been a lot of looking at life and remembering what matters. As some things have been taken away and some things have been shoved in, I've had to constantly remind myself of like, what are the life-giving things in my life? What brings life? Maybe that's relationships, maybe that's doing something. I'll tell you one thing that brings me life is doing this. Being here with you brings me life, and you commenting in the chat and talking with me, so I'm not the only one talking, brings me life too, right? So make sure you're following along in the chat. If you have questions or you had something to add, let me know. It's remembering what matters. And as all this stuff has changed and been taken away and given without asking, I've had to ask myself, what are the life-giving things in my life? Remember what matters the most and keep those things in front of you, because the reality is no matter what changes, no matter how ordinary life can get or boring life can get, or no matter how big of a rut that you're stuck in, there are life-giving things always available to bring life to you if you don't allow the ordinary to pull you out of what matters the most. So remember, all moments aren't created equal. Most of life is ordinary moments, and you have to be conscious of remembering what matters. So here's the second thing that I would tell you. Cherish the moments. Man, cherish all the moments, but specifically be aware enough to be fully present in the extraordinary moments. I think that sometimes we allow ourselves to become so desensitized by ordinary moments that we are not fully present in the extraordinary moments. We miss the opportunities when these moments that aren't equal to other moments come along, and we miss them because we've allowed ourselves to dull in the ordinary. Be fully present. Take those things fully in. Like I see Ashley and Rayson on here. They just went on a trip to Turkey, which is like, what? Turkey? That's amazing. Good for you guys, man. That is awesome. I say, hey, let's all go. You know what I'm saying? But they just went to Turkey. That is not an ordinary moment. That's an extraordinary moment. And they were fully present in that moment, because I can't imagine what you're feeling coming back from Turkey to Oklahoma, right? We're going next year, Aubrey. Hey, I'm going to put this on there, Megan. We're speaking that into existence right now in the name of Jesus. So you have to be fully present and cherish the moment. I think sometimes because you are fully present, you're able to remember and reflect on those moments. Sometimes the reflection of extraordinary is what sustains you through the ordinary. Let me say that again. Sometimes the reflection of the extraordinary is what sustains you through the ordinary. So it's important that you cherish those moments, that you are fully present in extraordinary moments, because sometimes the reflection and remembrance of those moments is what will sustain you through ordinary moments. The reality is that most of life is ordinary moment. Here's the last thing I would say, and this kind of leads into this, is don't get addicted to extraordinary. Now that sounds bad. Like I'm telling you not to want great things or not to, go after things. Like I think that you should put yourself in situations and go to new places and do new things. And you can create those extraordinary moments. But what I fear some of us do is we get addicted to an extraordinary moment. So like I'll use Turkey, for instance. I'm picking on Ashley and Rayson here. They just went to Turkey. Now they can keep going back to Turkey over and over and over and over. But at some point there's going to be a diminishing return, because It's not going to feel extraordinary because you've been there, you've done that, you're at the place, you've eaten this food, you've been to that restaurant, you've seen these people, you've met this place, blah, blah, blah. At some point, that's why where you live feels so ordinary, right? You've become familiar with it. And when things become familiar, they feel ordinary again. I think sometimes we ruin extraordinary moments because we don't experience extraordinary in moderation. We just like keep doing, just go. And life is not that way. Not everything is extraordinary. A lot of life is just ordinary. What I fear some of us do is we take an extraordinary or the right thing and we don't understand the moderation. We don't understand that every day is not just the mountaintop experience. And we take the right thing and we actually suck the life out of it because we don't understand that not all moments are equal. Now, there are some things that are extraordinary. Like, let's talk about God's presence. Unbelievably extraordinary in my life, right? That's never going to get old. That is something that is a constant pursuit, that no matter how far I go down that rabbit hole, there's always more. There's always more. There's always more. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about your mindset. I'm not talking about your perspective. But the reality is most moments in life are ordinary. We have to remember these things like, hey, things are ordinary right now, but let's remember what matters. Let's be fully present and cherish the moments that we have the opportunity to experience. I needed last week after the last 18 months of my life. We've lost relationships. That's what made the Halloween so cool, is Megan and I are looking around like, man, we're around great people that we didn't know 6 months ago that are new relationships. Like, that's exciting. Here our kids are taking a step in a first soccer tournament. Here's Hadley getting this opportunity to be a ball girl for the Oklahoma Sooner. That's all extraordinary stuff. And I needed that. And I'm glad that I was aware enough to be fully present in it, because now I can cherish and remember and reflect as life can be ordinary too. And then just don't get addicted. So like, I'll give you an example with the ball girl thing. They were like, she can come back anytime. And I was like, man, I don't want her to do every game next season, because if she just does every game next season, it'll lose its excitement. It'll just be like, oh, we got to go do another game. Be aware that you can take extraordinary things and make them so familiar that they lose their excitement. Not everything's mountaintop, but it doesn't mean that the ordinary is bad. It's the same like when you're in a season when, people always talk to me, well, I feel like I'm just in a waiting season, like God's just making me wait. And I'm like, in the Bible, those waiting seasons were the seasons that if you embrace them and you're fully present in them, those are the seasons that prepare you for the extraordinary moments. It's not that ordinary moments are bad, but a lot of us just chase extraordinary all the time. Well, hey, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today. Again, if you have not liked, followed, subscribed, then make sure you go and do that and hit the bell with the notifications. That way the next video that comes out will be right there with your notifications, so you know it's there and you can take it in as fast as you want. All right. Hey, thanks for spending a little bit of time with us today. Aubrey with a Y. I'm out.